This is RX Knowledge and my name is Tahir Malik. Hi guys, how are you? Hope you're all fine. So in the last video you have given me a tremendous response. Thank you very much guys. So today's topic is cholinergic antagonists. So you can see this classification here. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. Yeah, let's take a screenshot. So let's start our today's topic, that is cholinergic antagonists. They actually prevent the effects of acetylcholine and other choline agents. The first subclassification is antimuscarinic agents. They are also known as parasympatholytics. So parasympatholytics basically blocks parasympathetic system. Interestingly, they also block sweating and salivary secretions. That is the property of sympathetic neurons. That is very important in terms of the MCQ. The drugs that are involved in antimuscarinic agents I have also shown you in the chart: aclidinium, glycopyrrolate, ipratropium and tiotropium. So these four drugs are basically have positive charge and are used for maintenance of COPD. So guys, please focus: aclidinium, glycopyrrolate and tiotropium. These are LAMAs. LAMAs are basically long-acting muscarinic antagonists. And ipratropium is basically SAMA, that is short-acting muscarinic antagonist. That's very important in terms of exam point of view. And the glycopyrrolate is also known as anti-secretory agent. That is, it blocks secretions in respiratory tract before surgery. And when it comes to ipratropium, it is used in acute management of asthma. That is very important. When we talk about tiotropium, it is used for the chronic management of asthma. So next drug is atropine. Atropine is basically used as antidote for organophosphate poisoning, physiostigmine and mushroom poisoning. So atropine also causes cycloplagia. We have also discussed in the previous episode about cycloplagia. That is actually a paralysis of ciliary muscles of the eye. It also causes mydriasis and unresponsiveness to light, and also causes or used as antispasmodic. At low doses, atropine basically decreases the heart rate. The mechanism is it blocks M1, and at high doses it increases the heart rate. That is, it blocks M2 in SA node. Atropine also causes xerostomia. That is very important in exam point of view. Atropine also treats bradycardia. It blocks the secretions in respiratory tract before surgery. Atropine also treats central toxic effects of anticholinesterase. We actually have discussed about anticholinesterase in the previous chapter, like rivastigmine, pyridostigmine and physiostigmine. You should know about these classification. Guys, the classification should be on your fingertips. I know this is a bit difficult, but it is very, very important. So the adverse effect of atropine is blurred vision, sandy eyes, tachycardia, urinary retention and constipation. So atropine also has some central nervous system side effects, that is restlessness, confusion, hallucinations, delirium, depression, collapse of circulatory and respiratory system. The most important thing, the antidote used for the atropine is physiostigmine. When there is an atropine toxicity, we use physiostigmine. That is very important, guys. The next set of drugs is cyclopentolate and tropicamide. So these both are as numbered 5 and 6. These are used as ophthalmic solution for mydriasis and cycloplagia. The next set of drugs are 7 and 8. That is benztropine and trihexyphenidyl. So these both are used for the treatment of Parkinson's disease and also used for antipsychotic induced extrapyramidal effects. So guys, extrapyramidal effects basically refers to involuntary movements that you cannot control, such as feeling restless, like involuntary contraction of muscles, like symptoms similar to Parkinson's, such as tremors, difficulty finishing thoughts or speaking, and like stiff facial muscles. So these are some examples of extrapyramidal effects. So the next is oxybutynin. derifenacin, phytotyrosine, solifenacin, tolterodine. So these set of drugs basically block M3 and increases bladder capacity, decreases contraction. That's a very important mechanism of action of these set of drugs: oxybutynin, derifenacin, phytotyrosine, solifenacin, tolterodine. So next is oxybutynin. So oxybutynin basically treat neurogenic bladder, and it is delivered as transdermal patch and topical gel. This is very important, guys. Oxybutynin is delivered as transdermal patch and topical gel. So next is these set of drugs have adverse effects like dry mouth, constipation, and blurred vision. The next drug we have is scopolamine. So scopolamine has greater actions on CNS than atropine. That is very important. Scopolamine, basically it is used as prophylactic treatment. Scopolamine is used as prophylactic treatment for motion sickness. So this is given in advance when we go to hiking or somewhere in trekking, so that we cannot feel sick. So scopolamine also treats post-operative nausea and vomiting. So when it comes to mechanism of action, scopolamine blocks short-term memory, and scopolamine is also used for sedation at low doses, and at high doses it causes excitement. It has one abuse too, that is euphoria. So the last is scopolamine is used as topical patch. Next subclassification is ganglionic blockers. It includes nicotine. So mechanism of action for nicotine is it blocks entire output of autonomic nervous system, depolarizes the autonomic ganglia. So it involves first stimulation, then blockade or paralysis of all ganglia. Now the last subclassification is neuromuscular blockers. It is also known as nicotinic antagonists. These include cisatracurium, mivacurium, pancuronium, rocuronium, and vicuronium. So these drugs are basically non-depolarizing antagonists. So non-depolarizing antagonists basically directly bind to nicotinic receptors on postsynaptic membrane. We have mechanism of action for these drugs, that at lower doses it blocks acetylcholine at nicotinic receptors. At higher doses it blocks ion channels. That is very important, ion channels of motor end plate. So when we talk about cisatracurium, it basically used for mechanical ventilation in critically ill patients, especially in multi-system organ failure. So for pancuronium, its side effects are vagolytic. So vagolytic effects basically increase in heart rate. That is very important. In case of rocuronium and vicuronium, if there is toxicity of these drugs, we use an antidote named Sugamadex. That is also very important. These drugs also have some drug interactions. When these drugs like neuromuscular blockers interact with disulfiram, it increases neuromuscular blockers effects. And when these neuromuscular blockers interact with gentamicin or tobramycin, it also increases neuromuscular blockers effects. So guys, that's all from me. Until next time, thank you very much.